All right. Well, welcome back, folks. Welcome to Combat Maquina.
Hello.
December 7th. It's about 7 p.m. Just getting through another week of doing what we do, folks. I think our last podcast, we touched a little bit on I brought up the Oreo thing. And the reason I brought up the Oreo thing, for anybody wondering, is back in the days, I don't remember what year it was or anything, just off the top of my head, but they did a study with rats and Oreos and cocaine. And the rats were just as addicted to the Oreos as they were to the cocaine. So I symbolically use an Oreo to practice my self-discipline with my sugar cravings, or, little fat boy inside of me that wants to fucking devour a whole sleeve. But
We all got a little fat boy inside of us, or fat girl.
And it's all right to tap into them every once in a while, but just keeping that balance. With that said, that's what we're going to talk about today is discipline, and not just discipline in general, discipline on how we approach it, how we practice it on a daily basis, and then we're gonna. I want to know a little bit more about the MMA and the fight culture and community, because honestly, I'm a hermit, man. I stick to my craft. You know what I'm saying? With that said, we can start with Esteban. Would you like Esteban or Misa? Let's start with Esteban. And share with us how discipline, what it means to you, how you apply it on a daily basis, and how we practice it.
I think for me, discipline is doing the things that you know you need to do, even though you don't feel like doing them. Or otherwise, just getting over that laziness that we all have. So I have a pretty simple correspondence with discipline. I kind of force myself to do the things that I don't want to do, and it's put me in the positions that I want to be in. So, but I think I've always kind of had it hasn't always been a difficult thing for me. So I was gonna ask, do you guys think that some people inherently have more discipline than others, just naturally, instinctually?
I think environmental has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I would say environmental.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say environmental.
Environmental definitely has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I think if you're an only child, or you come from a background where you have to take care of yourself a lot, well, obviously you're going to be a little bit more independent. There's going to be a little bit more discipline applied there.
Yeah.
If you're a baby in a family of 5, chances are you're going to be a fucking spoiled, whining little bitch. And you ain't going to realize it till somebody fucking smacks you upside the head and, kind of brings it to your attention. It's the reality of it.
That makes sense.
It's all right. We're evolutionary creatures, but we are also creatures of habit. So,
Good and bad.
Well, here's the thing: is we're more creatures of habit than we allow for our evolution, and discipline is a practice of changing habits. And me bringing that oppositional approach, like for me, I've done things completely opposite of how I do things now, and I damn near, took myself to places that a lot of people don't come back from, And the one of the first things that kind of triggered that was not only coherence and being in the moment as and accepting the non-lineal aspect of myself, of my human, but also understanding that every thought that I had that went into making decisions was an absolute disaster and failure. So being a layman, being kind of a meathead, I just started thinking, well, what if I do the opposite of what I'm thinking at this moment? Because obviously my instincts right now have brought me to a shit life, with with no real advancement. If anything, just complete self-destruction. So that started the discipline thing. And then when I realized that putting my feelings aside on how I feel about something, or how I, conditioned myself as a habitual creature to think about something and approach things that I otherwise thought were uncomfortable, unpleasant, or I didn't want to do, that, I fought that. I fought that first little voice inside your head that goes, "No, I don't want it." Like, and I still do on a daily basis. That little voice never goes away. And that's the thing about discipline, is it's a daily practice. And we can be disciplined in one area and not in another, but I'm telling you, those imbalances at some point in time, you're going to deal with them.
You know what I see a lot of people try to do with discipline is for example, a non-disciplined person. They want to become a disciplined person. They think that, okay, I'm just overnight like that, I'm going to implement all of these disciplined actions into my life. And they most of the time fail on it. Do you think it would be better just to slowly create habits that get you to be a more disciplined person, as opposed to just being like, all of a sudden, I'm going to try to be the most disciplined person that I can be? Because I see a lot of people kind of fail when they try to do things like that.
We don't get undisciplined overnight.
Nah, but a lot of people take that approach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like people that are overweight, and you didn't get like that overnight. It was a habit. It was something that you practiced over and over again. So you actually practiced being undisciplined for the results and to get to where you are.
Which, if you think about it, though, kind of is discipline. It takes discipline to make yourself want to eat that much every single day. So in theory,
well, I don't think it's really discipline. I think it's weakness giving in to what's easy, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes discipline what it is. It's not easy. It's difficult, and that's why it's discipline. To be undisciplined is really, it's a knock to yourself, because you're saying that you would rather enjoy that Twinkie over there, or that piece of pie over there, and you'll deal with the consequences later,
or not care about the consequences at all.
Well, but here's the thing: is I deal with people that at the end, when they're all fucked up and they're sick, that now they got to deal with those consequences.
Yeah, no, all that stuff destroys your body.
Why
Tastes really good though.
Discipline is something that we throw it around, and I don't think we fully understand how to attain it, and that's one of the reasons why I make it a focal point in our training program, is just every little bit of the intricacies of and the complexities of the stuff that I convey, teach, try to translate into terms, because a lot of the things that I do, I feel them, and I have my imagination and my internal visions of how things are done basically come from sensory. So for me to try to translate that into English, sometimes it's a little difficult, and it's more about motor learning. And when you're motor learning and you're on the mats and you're putting your hands in places, and I'm trying to give you steps, if you're not really paying attention and you're applying any of the habitual traits that give us lack of discipline or bad habits, then that whole moment of training is going to be wasted. And it's only because, again, I learned everything backwards.
Yeah.
I almost learned dyslexically, where I have to go ahead and put my hand in that fire and feel the sensation of it, to really internalize how why I made those decisions, and really start to change the way I look at stuff. And discipline is basically changing the way you look at stuff. It's turning things upside down or right side up, however you want to look at it. It's the glasses half empty or the glasses half full kind of thing. It's whatever you're thinking. Sometimes discipline's the opposite of that, and it's not what we want to hear, and it's not what we like. And the reality is that training it's even worse.
So in other words, you learned basically by reverse engineering.
That's how I learned.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned discipline, by having so much lack of discipline that I was left to the consequences and the ramifications of those, that lack of will, basically, and I apply it to the way we train because, it's really intense. We don't train for long periods of time.
No, we don't.
We train for short, intense, very, almost chaotic because I'm cramming a bunch of stuff in your head like now, and I'm not expecting you to get all that stuff right now. I'm expecting you to get bits and pieces. And if you can get bits and pieces, you can start to connect those bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But if you're not present, you're not in the moment, if you're not disciplined, okay, then
You're just there. You're not taking the information, and you're not absorbing all that
no,
stuff.
and we've seen it happen.
Multiple times with multiple people.
With multiple people, we've seen it happen. That you can go through all the training and you can be here, but if you're not really here in that moment, if you can't discipline yourself to be here in that moment, you definitely aren't going to be Maquina. You're not going to be able to rep the brand and what we live by. So for me, discipline is a way of life. It's something that I've decided to go on this path of a life of combat or martial arts, where that's my main drive. Like, I don't get distracted by social media. I don't get distracted by drama. I don't get distracted by the commercial cultural element. I stay focused on this path because I know that if I stay focused on this path, there's other people attached that are still on the path. Although they're not on my path, they're on a similar path.
Yeah.
And
Do you think being on that path brings a sense of purpose to you?
absolutely, and that's what, as human beings, that's what we want.
We want to find purpose.
We want to find purpose. A life full of purpose is a life well lived up until the end, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not chasing material possessions. I'm not saying that I wouldn't like to earn more money or but the reality is my path is keeping me so kind of centered and focused and balanced because the path that we've chosen is it's a tumultuous, it's a chaotic, it's a dangerous, risky path.
And it's funny that you said the path that we chose. In essence, you do choose the things that you get to do, so that people that do get stuck into certain situations that they feel that they can't do anything else, that's it, they're stuck. It's not truth. They can always go and try other things and try to get their lives on other paths to see if that brings more joy and purpose to them. It's difficult. It absolutely is, and it does require a lot of discipline, which is what we're talking about. But it's not an impossible task.
And there's, like I said, discipline is a word that in the fight community, in the culture, it's something it's a necessary attribute. If you don't have that, chances are you're probably not going to succeed.
True.
I look at it from that backwards dyslexic way that I've learned from bottom to now, but I am very intrigued with the way other fighters think, talk, train, not to the point to where it's going to affect what I do, but to the point to where it allows me to deeper delve into the psyche and the mentality of that human or that human's environment. Because if you think about it, when we go and we challenge ourselves with these other individuals, we are fighting their whole system, their whole approach, their discipline, their dedication, their commitment. It's not just a reflection of them. It's a reflection of the people around them. That's why this combat sports has just skyrocketed, and it's
People love violence.
people love violence, and I'll tell you what, promoters and promotions and media and fans and the people, they love it too, and we're here to give kind of a deeper look into it. Maybe it's our point of view, but we're doing it, and we're talking about it as we're doing it and as we're going through it. So it's almost like it's a ride, man. So for me, as much as I can learn about anyone else or anybody else, or not just to pick them apart as from a strategic and a tactical point of view, but literally just to understand, we're all humans, but we all take our own approach to things, and I don't believe in there being any, good or bad. It just is, and
It's what you make of it.
it's and the more I can learn, the stronger I will be. The more adaptive I will be. The more in tune I will be with my environment, my surroundings. It's funny because I'm a real intense dude, but if you come up and you communicate openly and kind of neutrally, not easy on the aggressiveness or wanting to prove your point around me. It's I'm very open. I'm actually very polite. I'm very respectful. If I'm disrespectful to someone, it's because they've tried to portray something in this game, in this sport that they want to play. And for me, what we do is a life. It's what I do. It's like we were talking earlier about Miyamoto Musashi. He gave his life to the mastery of swordsmanship. Nothing else mattered. For me, what I do, this is what matters. Everything that's attached to it, everyone that's attached to it, it's part of my process, and it allows me every day to remind myself of all the things, of all the qualities that it takes to commit yourself to something. And I see it every day when I look at you, or when I talk to the folks that come through here. It's super
We're having
important.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. That's
We're flowing.
yeah. And if you think about it, everything's made like crap now.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Everything's
like
made to
shit.
break down
It
now.
costs twice as much, but it's literally it costs them half as much, but
Cars-
it costs us twice as much. What the fuck?
Get closer.
Yeah, corporate
stay there.
America. Hey.
There you go. All right, cool. That works.
Cool.
Yeah, so for me, discipline is just part of my life. It's part of something that, I have to practice every day, and then I have to convey it because I teach it. So, if you're gonna talk about it, you gotta be about it around here. Around here. I don't
think-
know how the fuck it is everywhere else, but around here, if you talk about it, you better motherfucking be about it. Because I'm a test. I'm one of those sons of bitches.
And if you apply discipline into your life, it's going to better it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and getting back to just the community and the culture, Marissa, you not only being our main kind of ambassador through social media, because I'm an idiot and I delegate shit like that. I'm not here being like, this is all me, this is all, no. It's us. It's about us. So with that said, I think your perspective, your point of view is extremely, extremely important in us understanding how we fit in to the whole community.
You don't. That's the best part. You don't.
Yeah, well, but in a sense, that's comforting as well too, because then when you know where you stand, you know where you're going next, right? Like, all right, cool, You've done interviews with a lot of fighters, high profile. You've rubbed shoulders with a lot of the more popular fighters in the fight game, in boxing and in mixed martial arts and in Muay Thai, So as far as, from your point of view, you interview these folks, you basically, you connect with them. What do you see from your side as a journalist or a media correspondent?
What I see is it's discipline, and comparing it to you guys is so hard because you can't. I see the discipline in people. I see the discipline in fighters, especially when they're heading into a fight that same week. That's typically when I interview people or speak to people. And you see the discipline, but it's your guys' discipline is, how do you say it? It's fueled by something different than every other fighter I've ever talked to. And it's crazy because, yes, I have chatted with these, high caliber, popular fighters. And
yeah, we don't mean to put anybody on the spot, so we're not going to say names. We're just talking in general forums, our approach and the approach of the culture.
Yeah, so just speaking with them, it is discipline. It's a form of discipline, but it's not where your guys' is rooted in. So I can't ever compare it. But being out there, yeah, that culture's weird out there. It's strange. It's fake.
Yeah, well,
fake.
and as I've see with the guys, when they started their amateur careers, I didn't even understand the whole amateur thing.
Yeah.
I jumped right into the mix, because I believed in myself. Now, looking back at it, I shouldn't have believed in myself as much as I did, because I didn't know shit about tactical, strategic fighting. I just had a good right hand and an iron chin and the will to want to throw down with people. I didn't.
You need that though if you want to do anything in life. You need to have that belief in self.
Where we're rooted from, And then she talked about it, and I guess one of the building blocks to what I've done here is the chip on your shoulder, kind of thing. The not being good enough, the being too old, the not having a background.
Yeah, it's funny whether the guys win or lose or come off a big win, regardless, the guys regardless in the next camp you started off with, because I think it comes naturally because you are always going to be the nobodies from where the fuck are they from kind of vibe. So yeah. I think it's always going to be like that, but whoever you fight, you're like, well, this is them. Let's show them what's up.
It literally started with me watching the UFC house, and I was listening to the interviews, and I don't remember what season it was. It doesn't matter at this fucking point, But I was watching the house, and I was at home, and I was unemployed. And I was raising my 18-month-old daughter, and I was thinking, what the hell am I going to do? I'm a convicted felon. Fucking recession's hitting hard. I was in industrial steel at the time. Company I was working for went out of business. I had been unemployed for about maybe 8 to 10 months, and I was watching, and I could hear these dudes talk. And when I heard them talk, and that's why I ask you, because you hear these guys talk, you know what I'm saying? And then when I heard them talk, the first thing I thought is, I will eat these motherfuckers' lunch. I will eat these fucking dudes up.
Did you have any experience fighting by then?
Like just street fighting, just to basically tuck the chin, fucking grab the shirt, and fucking straight punches win. And I got these two fucking knuckles, I put them right in your fucking chin, your nose, your eye socket, or your temple, you're going out, because 9 pounds ain't that much. And I'm pretty sure my monkey arms have been able to produce that amount of inertia and force for many years now. So that was what that was it. I had a background in football, so I had an athletic background in my whole life. I didn't,
Speaking of, I know you have the physique that you have right now, but I've seen a picture of what he looked like when he played football. And coach, you're a tank,
yeah,
real freaking tank.
yeah, no, I
Crazy.
Looking like Bullet out there in the field.
Oh, yeah, no, looking like a propane tank, literally.
How much do you weigh right now?
Right now, you know what? I don't know. I think I'm usually always somewhere between 170 and 180.
How much did you weigh at the most
When I played
back then?
football, I was about 215, 220 at the most.
What?
At the most, I got up to about maybe 230, and it was because we
So
were
imagine
winning.
that
We were
running straight
winning.
at you.
We were winning,
Oh.
so I was drinking, every weekend. So yeah, no, that's funny you bring that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, discipline is a process like everything else. Once you understand everything's a process, then you open yourself up more to the ups and downs of that process, and you learn to steady your ship a little bit more. And it comes out in what you say and how you convey yourself. And we talked about the community, and when I first got in with these guys, I didn't really know what to expect from the amateurs, but I was never training these guys to be amateurs. Amateurs was kind of like something, it was a formality that I believed that in order to be a good pro, which I didn't get the opportunity to do, to have an extensive amateur career, is that was important. Those were important building blocks.
That was one of the things that you started off with. I remember was where you said I'm still kind of learning how to coach and be a coach and be for as far as a fighter, because you always said I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
This is all kind of learning for you.
Yeah,
which was for all of us.
And honestly, the coaching, looking back at it now, has made me a better fighter. It has made me a smarter tactician, a strategist.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way I sensed those guys, the way that they were talking about in the UFC house, I could sense weakness. I could sense weakness in the way they were conveying their messages, and some of it was even whininess, and it was kind of like, dude, you guys are grown men. And I remember thinking that if I apply the old school way to this, I can learn this, I can do this. I don't know that I completely respected the arts at the time. Now, I respect every aspect of it.
How so?
In the attention to detail, in the actual discipline of accepting that you don't know shit, and that everything that you do from here on out is going to be a lesson, whether it's going to be a lesson of success and to boost morale, or whether it's going to be a failure and it's going to demoralize. It's not just about succeeding and failing in things. It's about dealing with that biochemical, emotional component of it.
Your perspective
Your
over
perspective,
it.
or how you take things. It's and like I said, I'm more careful with the way I say things, unless it's something that I feel strongly about. So, if you ask us questions, I think we've talked about this, is that, kind of doing those cookie cutter interviews with us is kind of tough,
So tough. It's so hard.
Yeah, because for us, it's like, well, we really think about the questions, and then we're like, okay.
Battery day?
Oh no.
Oh no.
We've been having some technical
Good thing I
difficulties
plugged that
today.
one in.
Beto,
Dang, you did that
come
right on time.
Yeah.
We were about to transition right
Yeah,
there. That was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Right there, bro. Hey,
Yeah,
look
stop
up.
that timer.
Oh shit, yeah. Both? Look in front of you, bro. Look in the outlet behind the. There you. Yeah, good. proud of you, bro.
You see, good thing I didn't unplug that earlier.
I know. I was here talking shit. Unplug it.
So where the fuck we leave off?
That's going smooth.
Yeah.
That
What
was
were we
going
talking about,
smooth. Shit.
I-
We were
You know what?
transitioning
My
to
brain just farted. I
It's
don't
okay.
even.
It was fun. No,
No,
you got
well,
it.
I'll get it right
You
now.
were somewhere.
Yeah, no, it was.
You were telling me something.
Yeah, well, it was about.
Ah,
Yes, the cookie cutter
The interviews with you guys.
Yes, yeah, the interviews with us.
Is there a question that you always ask?
Is there a question I always ask to fighters?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's a list, huh?
I go through
Or is
five
there one
main,
that always
Yeah,
sticks
so we're-
out to you?
I do
Right.
5 main questions. So
What
the
are the
first
5 main
the
questions?
first thing I ask is how's it going? The second one is along the lines because I get real fucking creative when I ask these questions because I need my 2 minutes of fame too. The fuck?
That's right.
I'm gonna benefit from this shit too.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
ask them. I give them a background of their opponent, and then I ask, how are you gonna, what's your approach? What during your camp? What have you trained? Have you adjusted anything? Blah blah blah. And then the third question is typically like along the lines of, what are your strengths? And then the last question is always, why should people watch you fight? I think I like to ask that one. I think I like to ask that one the most is, why should people come watch you? And I think that I only ask that question because that question works for you guys. That question is that question is probably the only question I can get more than 2 words out of them. Like, yeah. So I love asking that question because it stuns most fighters. But I think when I've ever asked you guys, it has never stopped you. Like, you guys will go for a good, couple sentences. I'm like, shit, finally, I got some shit from them I could clip. But, yeah, that's probably the question is, why should people come watch you? They have the most interesting responses. But your guys' are always so real. And I know it's backed up. Because I know, I mean, I asked that question to some
You've
fighters,
been
and
with
I'm
us.
like, damn, you guys can't back that shit up. But,
Yeah.
yeah, you
Well,
guys.
and here's the thing. It's funny you said that. Is the reason we back it up is because there's no fucking pressure on us.
Yeah.
We're built to do what we're doing. We put in that work. It's a daily thing, and that's why we're talking about it. Is I don't come out, saying that, hey, we're gonna kick everybody's ass. We're never gonna lose a fucking fight. I don't talk like that.
No, that's ignorant.
Ever.
That's silly, man. It's a fist fight. Shit happens. Things break. Minds drift. Shit happens. Moments get big.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. What I guarantee is that if any of our stable is locked in a cage, you're in for a fucking show. You're in for a fight. Win, lose, or draw. I don't even put the constantly winning pressure on any of my guys, or my girls. I don't do that. There's already a shit ton of pressure going into what we're doing, all over. Even with you, Misa, is there's pressure on you to get your shit right. Why? Because the promotion's depending on you, fans are depending on you. They want to see product. We put that pressure on ourselves as well.
We do.
We are the product. We are the brand. So, I like I said, I don't coach. And I understand coaches. Yeah, we spar, but no. I'm the fucking pace car. I mean, not to talk shit, and I would never. My fighters, to me, I treat them like equals, But if it came down to it, I have to be the baddest motherfucker in this place, and I know that. Why? Because I don't have a name. I'm nobody. I learned backwards. I'm fucking, I got this fucking chip on my shoulder. So the approach we take to it is with that chip on our shoulder. When we're training, there has to be control on my part, because if I get too caught up on myself, I could injure one of my guys. Why? Because I'm honing my skills at the same time they're honing theirs. And that's one of the reasons why they're calm when they go in there, because they go in there and they're going to see somebody either be orthodox or be southpaw, or be a kickboxer, or be a boxer, or be a wrestler, and then now they talk, well, there's a lot of MMA guys now that's all they train. Nah, They have a wrestling day, they have a jiu-jitsu day, they hit pads, they have a striking coach or whatever, and then they have like an MMA coach.
Yeah.
No. That's not the way we do it here. It's the way you do it is you walk in through this door and you say you want to fight, you got to fight me. And not only me, actually you won't start with me either. You'll start down the totem pole. You might start with my daughter. She's 13, and if you can't handle her, well, maybe you don't want no motherfucking rounds with me.
Yeah.
Because again, and I hear this. Well, training's different than fighting. Maybe your fucking training's different than fighting. Here, we get pretty damn close to fighting without losing tempers, because the reality is that I'm the main Maquina. I should be in complete control of all of my weaponry.
Discipline.
Yeah. And being disciplined in the non-linear moment. When there's times where, I even think in my mind, dude, if I threw this, I'd decapitate him, And I even mock things, and Stefan will recognize him. He'll kind of shake his head like, "Fuck, dude."
I laugh. I'm having a good time.
You didn't throw that, coach. But it's that's why we're different. That's why we talk different, is because we're born and raised different. That's it, And I respect everybody, but if you show me some sort of sign of shadiness, some sign of disrespect, or some sign of just lack of confidence for yourself, because I make you feel fucking uneasy because I'm who I am, and I walk around like that. It's not a chest out, I'm a bad motherfucker. It's head high, shoulders back. I know who I am, kind of thing.
That's that old saying, though, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely. And I live by that. So wherever I see hesitation and doubt from individuals, it's because maybe they're doubting themselves. But if you come at me like that and I smell it.
Which is normal, though. People doubt themselves all the time. You shouldn't allow that to stop you from doing the things that you want to.
And that's what I say. Is it shouldn't stop you. I'm not. It's funny because even in this fight game, I'm a fan of the purity of violence in combat. I'm not necessarily a fan of any one individual. I think they're all awesome, beautiful individuals that have something to offer the whole world, man. The reality is my main focus is the pureness of what we do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to really look up to nobody. Thank you for paving the way, all the combat athletes that came before us. But I'm a fucking fighter. I'm a fighter. And whether you want to box, you want to kickbox, you want to jits, what you want to do, bro. At the end of the day, I'm going to look for ways to fight you. To stop you from what you want and fight you. Because to me, that is the name of the game.
Yeah.
That is life. You know what I'm saying? You can call it a sport, but the reality is they do that for liability and legal reasons. They don't do that, because at the end of the day, we all pat each other on the butt and say, "Hey, good fight, good fight." We do that shit, but we do that as sportsmen. But when we're in there, we're animals.
Yeah. And
we have to behave accordingly.
You should. Yeah.
And we will, and we will not allow. I will not allow, the media or what other fighters think or what the culture thinks to change how we do things here, because there is a difference between sparring and a real fight. The difference is neither of them are as dangerous as doing it for life and death. So with that said, I'm going to go about it, and we're going to go about it the instinctual way, the way we should. So we will never disrespect. We will always be humble, but we're here to fucking kill. And you're in a fight, And if you think you're gonna harm me or one of my stable fighters, no, you're not. Good luck. We wish you the best. Shut the fuck up and let's go. You know, and why?
Yeah, no, words don't win fights.
Nope.
Actions
Nope.
do.
Let's do
Punches do.
Let's
Kicks
do it
do.
because
Elbows, knees.
Techniques,
Uh-huh.
relaxation, fluidity,
Recognition.
you know,
Discipline.
discipline. All right, so you talk about discipline, but we're gonna do discipline.
Yeah.
And,
Some people talk it and
yeah,
they don't do it.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do it.
they talk about it,
promise
but they don't be about it.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Because that's all we talked about today. But you know, the way we look at it is, if you ain't doing it, then you shouldn't really talk about it. You know, and if you say you're doing it, well then, you know, put your money where your mouth is.
You think people do that to, they care too much about what other people think about them?
I think that, and I think sometimes, I mean, I've listened to other fighters. I think they're trying to convince themselves. You know, because they're putting an enormous amount of pressure. And Misa, you can help with this, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can see sometimes in the way they say things. It's sometimes they even defeat themselves in the way they're saying things.
Yeah.
That's true, because you have those interviews with a lot of people. Do you ever, after an interview, be like, this person is 100% doubting
I
themselves?
go,
and
man. I walk
Yeah.
away being like, this motherfucker is full of shit.
I would imagine.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
I walk away sometimes like, man, poor guy. Because you can
Trying to
hear it
convince
and you can
himself.
see it. And when they're already making excuses, you know it's coming. You know, when I ask them a question and then they hit me with the, well, his wrestling is a little bit, you know, stronger. He went here, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, here we go. Why did I interview? Fucker, you're going to lose. Because he's already doubting himself. But, yeah, you see it out there. You see it out there way too much. So much that it makes you think, who the fuck are they signing up for these big leagues, you know? Like, these people have...
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, maybe people should have, like, entrance interviews or something. And they have someone sitting there that can read body language.
Or check it out. Or
all
better
that
yet, you should have Alpha Fit. Team Maquina weed out that motherfucking shit. Because I'm telling you right now, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're here. We're fighters. We're born and raised, born and bred fighters. You know, respect to the athletes that come into this game and want to compete and oppose. But you know, I think they know it, and it's kind of crazy that you just went pro, man. You guys just went pro, and you know, your amateur careers, you already let everybody know that about the brand, is that, you know, we're fighters, and you might be able to wrestle us once, you know, maybe twice, but not again, man. You know, we're on to you guys. We're on to the athletes. We're on to the, you know, the tacticians.
That's what's helped us progress so much, is that we learn from our mistakes. We get better.
And we're not scared of them, because win, lose, or draw, we're coming out to take your head off, and we're doing it because we do it on a daily. Discipline. Yeah. Discipline's why we do it. Yeah. All right? So with that said, you know...
Can we try and lead off to the next podcast? Because I want to bring something up really quick.
Girl, go
because
ahead,
I think this would be a great next podcast to talk about,
Absolutely.
especially now in the winter season. So my mouth is so dry right now, but can I tell you why?
Why's that?
I've had probably one bottle of water today.
All day?
And it's been like that all winter. So, Coach, can we please talk about hydration next podcast?
Well, actually,
I need someone to wake me the fuck up.
Hydration will be a good thing, because hydration will lead us to nutrition, which is something that we're going to go ahead and we're going to share with all our viewers or our listeners, that we're going to show you kind of how we do resolution time, January. I'm not a resolution guy, but I thought that now we're doing I wasn't a fucking podcast guy either, you know, but now we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of embrace the New Year's resolution theme, and we're going to bring in the new year by working on nutrition, hydration, and we're going to enjoy some Oreos too.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Balance, people, balance. Don't be food Nazis. Knock it off. Hey, bodybuilders look good, but you know they sacrifice a lot for that shit.
And they're also highly on steroids.
That's
Hey,
it. No steroids
true,
here.
True. Can't argue that.
Yeah.
Can you let everyone know what this ordeal would be in
Oh
January?
shit, we want to let them know already.
Specifics. Let's do.
Oh,
Let's get
all
everyone
right,
hyped.
Right. So check it out.
So they know why I gained 10 pounds in the next 2 weeks.
Esteban here, he is our cook, our chef behind Maquina Meals, and Maquina Meals is a sustainable, satiating nutrition program for athletes or people that want to cut calories but not cut taste and the feeling of satiation or the feeling of fullness, because that is a real issue in today's dieting and meal prepping community. Meal prepping meals, they're like 400 calories with like 8 grams of fat. And what?
Not going to satiate you.
No, man. No. Look, don't be so scared of fat. All right? Don't be so scared of fat.
Well,
because
I think
fat is
people
what
are-
keeps you alive.
People have that misconception of fat is bad. But just like carbohydrates, you have good carbohydrates, you have bad carbohydrates. Like refined sugar is not that good for you. A piece of fruit is really good for you. They're both made up of carbohydrates. It's the same thing with fat. You have good fats, you have bad fats.
Yeah, and we're going to embrace that in the new year. We're going to do it. Marissa, myself, Beto. I believe I'm going to bring Torres in, which is one of our members who's been with us here for about 5 months, man. Really kind of changed his outlook on life and his approach on just a daily basis. And I told him, man, I'd love to have you on and just share people your insight, your point of view coming from, not the fight background. And even with our Maquina Meal Challenge, what we're going to do is we're going to stick to our nutritional plan, but we're going to indulge every evening on a delicious Oreo cookie or an Oreo cakester.
Sponsor
Would you
us.
call one Oreo indulging?
Well, that's where the discipline
A
comes
cakester,
in.
definitely.
Because here's the thing.
How big are cakesters?
We
I haven't seen
we
them.
just talked the whole podcast about discipline. Well, this Maquina Meals plus Oreo challenge is not only going to help you understand nutrition a little bit better and how it applies to you yourself, all right, but it's also going to give you a chance to practice your discipline. All right, and what better to practice your discipline than the Oreo, the cocaine, the Oreo experiment there to basically tempt yourself with something extremely addictive, which is, I do it. I don't do it every day, but I tell you what, for the Maquina Meal plus Oreo challenge, I'll enjoy an Oreo every single day. And I'll tell you what, I'll still drop weight. I'll still cut up. I don't know if anybody out there wants to see my fat belly before we start, but I'll give you proof. I don't, and I won't do like the picture thing with the newspaper. Like I'll take my shirt off and show you right here on camera that I got loose skin and I got this and this and that. And I'm actually gonna focus on the next few weeks indulging in Oreos so that you can actually kind of tell a difference, because I'm in good shape. I train all the time, so I'm Maquina. So Maquina can do it, Marissa can do it, Beto can do it, homeboy Torres can do it, anybody can do it. Right? Again, what we do here is we take a universal approach to everything we do, so that we can convey it and try to make it relatable for laymen, for just everyday people that get duped by the fitness industry, which is, I'm totally against it. My whole shop here, the reason it's been open even through COVID and everything we've been through as a country is because it's sustainability. And our nutrition and our hydration should sustain us. And in order to do that, we must apply discipline. So I'll tell you what, we're going to throw it all into a fucking challenge. And that's the beauty about things we do here, is they're not only good for one facet of your human. It goes into feeding the whole human. So you're going to learn more than just, about carbs and fats. You're going to learn more about. You're going to learn more about
What
nutrition.
that does to your body, your brain.
And then how it applies to you and how you can discipline yourself to create your own regimen that will that will benefit you. Because I'm gonna actually, at the same time we do that challenge, Misa, we're gonna do the temperature temperature therapy with you.
You too, Beto.
Marissa, every time she starts to exercise, her joints get inflamed. All right, so it demoralizes her, makes her not want to exercise. So what we're going to do while she's going through the nutritional program that we lay out here is we're going to have her doing sauna and ice bath therapy. You know, because I've said this in podcasts past, we're cellular beings. All right, and if you can get cellular activity, then you're going to move things around internally, and I bet you're going to burn some calories. Bet. We'll find out. I tell you what, again, we're going to do it, and then we'll tell you about it, and then that way it could be like, it's just a matter of fact. It's not about, just opinions.
Cool.
All right.
I'm excited.
That's right.
Wait, one more video. Come get my phone because it's probably better quality than yours. We're going to do you want to do predictions for this weekend? UFC?
Predictions for this weekend?
Song Yudong versus Chris Gutierrez. El Guapo.
Oh. All right. Yeah.
The
That's
OG.
that long fool. He's so lanky.
Yes. Yeah.
That guy. Thank you, bro. Paid
I
lot
wish
of
I had
money
a
for that
coin to
shit.
flip.
Okay.
Predictions.
Fight night. UFC fight night.
Is it UFC fight night? Go ahead and give us the details.
Yeah,
on the
UFC fight night. Las Vegas, of course, and the Apex. I'm so tired of seeing the fucking Apex. Like, bring in some fans. Anyways, Song Yadong versus Chris Gutierrez. What do we got? Song Yadong, I think, is Team Alpha Male. And then Chris Gutierrez is a lanky guy.
Is a little smaller in stature. He's got a lot of power. He's a tough kid. Gutierrez is kind of an older vet now. He's one of those bigger bantamweights, them long, rangy bantamweights that cut a lot of weight to be down there. From what I saw in Gutierrez's last fight, he utilized kicks and distance really well, and he played it the strategic, I'm going to get you frustrated kind of approach. It worked for him, and he won. And if it works, it's not stupid, and it doesn't matter what people think about it. You won, bro. You got the bigger check.
Yeah.
Good shit. On this fight here, I think he's going to probably play the same approach. He's going to respect Son Danyang's power, and he's going to keep him on the outside, or he's going to smother him. Yeah. That's really, if you think about it, when you have reach and you have footwork, that's really the smartest way to play it. It doesn't mean, with 4-ounce gloves, everybody's got a chance. But I think that's the way it's going to go. If Gutierrez wins, he'll probably decision him. And if Song Dong Yang wins, he'll probably knock his ass out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think I'd say it's either going to be a knockout, but I feel like he wants to wrestle Song. I feel like he's getting into that maybe Team Alpha Male way of let me throw that right and come for your leg.
Honestly, that it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to close distance and try to chip away at the size of Gutierrez, because Gutierrez is a big dude.
Yeah.
And if you can chip away at that gas tank by smothering them or making the fight ugly, then yeah, he has a chance, because once you slow somebody down, it's a lot easier to punch him.
Yeah.
That's it's an approach. It's kind of like, for us, it's our wild card. Like, if you're bigger, faster, and stronger than us, all right, motherfucker, well, we gonna make you tired. You're gonna have to beat on us for a little while, and you're gonna have to prove that your cardio and your endurance is up to par. And I don't think that'd be a bad approach.
Yeah.
From Song
Song,
Dong Yang,
yeah.
and he absolutely has the training partners for it. So,
Right.
Yeah. So it's going to definitely be one of those new school matchups with an old school feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can kind of tell what's going to happen
Yeah.
on this one.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's true. You got a new one?
I don't have nearly as much insight as these two, so I'm just gonna take a guess and go Song Yudong.
He just wants to go the opposite of the other El Guapo.
which is fine. Which is fine.
He said, fuck the other El Guapo. He's going to lose.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Well, you know, he's El Guapo. Like, we have our El Guapo, you know, and what we want to do is we want to keep ours Guapo.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stay in the lab, and we're gonna work on our footwork and our counter aggressive counter striking.
Yeah.
Because we know that there's only two ways I think people have fought you. They either come right at you aggressively, or they try to grapple with you.
Yeah.
You know, we know that. So if you're out there and you're trying to come aggressive and you're trying to grapple, please keep doing it. Keep doing it, because then, again, we have failed in those aspects and we've succeeded. But we're always ready for the test. So if you're out there and you want to fight, and, you know, we got Esteban El Guapo Gonzalez over here waiting for someone to come crotch sniff or come bang, dude. Let's do it.